Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Raynday Gaming. My name is Raynday, and today, finally, we're going to be taking a look at Geb on the channel. I cannot tell you guys how many times I have been requested to play Geb. This is my actual first time I've ever played this god on my channel, so this is a momentous occasion. I hope it's a good game. I hope you guys enjoy it. Well, it is a good game. You'll see. Geb is one of those Guardians that is really a lot of fun to play. Why? Because he's so useful. He's so good at saving people. You oftentimes, when playing Geb, get that feeling of, wow, I saved your life. Geb is one of those gods like Khepri who gives you that feeling of really feeling like a support that did something, not just because you peel or maybe you belly flopped on someone and you stopped somebody pursuing someone. You feel like you really take people out of the clutches of death with your number 3. And that's usually the way you want to level. You want to go, for me, I like to level his 2, and then his 3 typically when you are working for a team that you're trying to save. But what you'll see in this video is that I am also a very aggressive player in terms of a Guardian as well. Although I'm playing Geb a little differently, trying to look out for my teammates, I do love to cause damage. And that's the other thing that Geb really excels at. As you see Neith basically getting pursued on here. I throw my shield on her way too late, and it's just so silly. But don't worry guys, we're going to talk all about Geb today. We're going to talk about the abilities. I'm going to give you a build. This is to be a very good resource for those of you who either want to watch a cool Geb gameplay, see how much damage he can do, really see how useful he can be to a team. Maybe if you want to learn a Guardian, this will be a great resource for you to get started, but also get a build and understand how his abilities work, because he does have some unique components to his kit which make him rather valuable and rather present in the SPL as a consistent feature. He's not always the top picked Guardian, but a lot of times he is highly prioritized and highly played because he has a couple of unique aspects about himself. Now, one of the things that I sometimes do with my Guardians is I start with like Voidstone. As you see me here aggressing, using that number 2 knockup from Geb, which is a great ability to cause damage, to get the minions basically almost cleared. It's that shockwave ability is number 2. Causes quite a bit of damage. But again, it's the greatest feature of it is the knockup. It really disrupts a lot of people and really can disrupt a counterattack, an offensive attack. As you see here, I'm positioning myself away in front of my teammate who's being aggressed on by the Hercules, but actually going ahead, and as you see, the Loki gets the kill onto the Hercules as well. The Thanatos initiating on me. I've got my ultimate available, but I'm taking a little bit of damage. I run away. I avoid the Geb ultimate, but the Hebo ultimate comes out, taking out the Hu Yi, saying goodbye, baby. As I go ahead and use my ultimate to take a little bit of damage, you have to say, Raynday, why did your ultimate not do a killing blow to him? That was a full ultimate. He had basically no health. Well, let me explain that to you. This time we're going to talk about the ultimate first. Geb's ultimate actually takes off a percentage of a god's health. So it is not an ability that is going to be a finisher. Is an ability that is going to be best used when a god has a lot of health or even a medium amount of health, but it's going to take off a percentage of their current health. It's not going to be taking off their certain amount. So you see here, he probably had 10 health. I took off 3.5 health, right, with that ultimate, and so you have to be really careful. It's one of the things you have to be paying attention to. The other thing, in terms of this, switching from the abilities now onto the build, as you see underneath, almost getting killed. I tried to throw my shield on. I'm kind of hitting myself in the head here because this is a point in the game where I realized, man, I should have been more proactive. But you see the damage coming out onto the Scylla from me and Hebo. That's just a lot of burst she wasn't expecting. She's forced to go ahead and use her little monster to get out of the way. One of those little dogs, those famous dogs. But this isn't child's play. This Scylla's trying to stay alive. Now you see the knockup going there, trying to save the Hu Yi, but Scylla is back in action, getting that crush and finishing off the Loki there. He was actually trying to save the Loki. The Hu Yi was aggressing, excuse me. But you will see, going back to the build here, you see the Scylla. She's got a presence. The Scylla is a very dangerous guard for a Guardian, for a Guardian to deal with, especially because she's able to root. And when Guardians need to get up close, the last thing you want to do is be rooted. Oh my god, as the Aokong ultimate takes her out, and you see the Hu Yi, the Hebo basically taking out the Hu Yi there, the Geb rolling out, but to what avail? It just doesn't do much. He's got no follow-up, and again, even though he can do a little bit of burst damage, he's got to have some follow-up for that. But you can see there, really with Scylla being a presence, and the Hu Yi, and most of their team, Hercules and Thanatos, being of a physical nature, I like to grab Hide of the Urchin. Hide of the Urchin is a great item, especially on Geb, who's really easy to get a lot of assists. He's really in the thick of a team fight. As you see my shield come up onto the Kokokon, allowing him to get away from the Thanatos, giving him a little bit of health, and of course that CC immunity. When you put it up, they're actually immune, CC immune for just a little bit. So if you see someone basically get hit with a Thor wall, or you see someone get rooted with Scylla, or any kind of thing, a taunt by Athena, all of that, you hit that shield onto them and they remove that CC. It's basically like beads, and because CC is basically getting so nerfed lately, as you see the aggression coming out onto the Thanatos, but the Hercules is able to stop me with his driving strike, stunning me and pushing me back, though he takes some damage from Cool Khan. Geb trying to do a little initiation on his own, but I'm not having it. I'm trying to roll out to safety here, but I try to tempt them into coming to attack me and pulling them out. The Scylla throws are crushed, but that's about it. They don't move towards me. But as you see, CC really being kind of valuable in this point of the game. Geb, a great character in dealing with that. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw more Geb, considering the lack of beads now in this game. And Geb's basically number 3, acting like a beads for his teammates. So that's 1 beads that your team is going to have much more frequently. It's going to be up pretty much every 18 seconds. And if you have full cooldown, that'll probably be more like 10 seconds there. As the shield comes out, hoping to save the Neath, which it would have, but the execute from the Thanatos, wow, she's not going to get saved from that. I tell you that. Executes do go through stone shields, I have to tell you that, and that's probably the way it should work. As our Hebo gets taken out as well, I'm going to aggress on the Huyi. I hit him with my number 2 and my number 1, and I just basic attack him and kick his butt. The Thanatos trying to come for me, but it looks like I'm not going to be able to make it out alive, or am I here? I've got a second. They're pursuing me. The Scylla's after me as well. I've got my number 1. I'm rolling out. I'm avoiding her damage. I see the dog come out the root. It doesn't happen. I get to the base safely. The Geb is pursuing me, but he's run too far, and the Scylla gets taken down by our Hebo. So I'm able to bait. Oh god, feeling happy about that. Able to get the kill. I am 2-0-4, and actually was able to survive that, baiting not only the Geb but the Scylla. And now Geb is in no position to help his teammates. He's really not in a good spot to stay in this fight, and now we are aggressing. I see the Hebo there, forcing him to jump out because of my number 2. He knows I just killed him, and he's like, I don't know if I want to mess with that rock anytime soon, man. That guy is pretty dangerous. I wasn't expecting that. And one of the themes you'll notice about Geb is that he can put out a lot of damage, more damage than you might think. Now let's continue talking about Hide of the Urchin, because this is a great item, and if you don't know which character to build towards against the enemy team, especially on your second item, if you haven't really seen who's been focusing you, Hide is a great thing to do. You're going to get the assist relatively easy in Arena, but you're also going to get the experience of, as the ultimate comes out and stuns the Thanatos in a basic attack, and a number 2 shockwave goes ahead and seals the deal there. That's my 3rd kill. I'm on a rampage. I see the Huyi there trying to use my Cataclysm, actually my rollout, to go ahead and push him towards the enemy. The Geb shield comes out on his side, and it looks like he's used his jump, though. My number 2 doing so much damage at this point up close, and now forcing both of them to retreat. Now, the thing I was saying regarding his abilities is very important. Let's talk about how his number 2 works, because this is a thing you're seeing me use a lot to put a lot of damage onto people. Now, Geb does a ton of damage. This number 2 shockwave does 370 damage plus 50% of your magical power. That's why Geb, with a few magical power items like Soul Reaver, Voidstone, or even Gem of Isolation, all 3 work really well, as you see the shield coming out, saving the Hebo from the damage on that crush, and the root there, as he says thanks, and I say yes. Keeping my eyes open here is a big key to playing Geb. But you see, oh my god, the aggression from the Loki, the Scylla able to avoid it, but I pop out of my rollout, she roots me with a nice shot. But again, going back to the shockwave, a great finisher. The only interesting thing about this ability, as the Loki misses his ultimate there, is that the farther away you are from the target, or when they get hit by it, the farther they are. As you see my aggression here on the Thanatos, I go with my rollout, do a little damage, slow him as my my teammates come to support, but it doesn't matter because the Scylla goes ahead and gets the kill. But Thanatos is here. I'm waiting for him patiently, but it looks like he's going away. But I don't understand that name, but I appreciate the kill. I use my shield to help Loki get out alive, and he does make it to safety. But the interesting thing about Shockwave is that, that's right, if you are closer to the person, like I was when I was playing that Huyi, right where he was almost at the buff, and he was basically on top of me, I'm doing 50% more damage. I'm doing my full damage, basically. But if you basically do it at the edge of the Shockwave, right when the Shockwave ends, because it does go out quite far, you actually are doing 50% less damage at maximum range if they get hit by that. So that 370 turns into, what is this, guys? What, 180 something, 185. So you basically do half damage, which is not exciting. And you want to make sure to be using that up close if you can. That way you're going to be delivering the maximum punishment as well. Most people will not be expecting this kind of punishment from a Guardian. One of the things I love to do, playing aggressively and causing a lot of damage, is use my number 1, as you see there, to aggress onto a target, get that damage, and then use my number 2 to try and finish them off. The Hercules is almost dead, but you see the aggression from the Loki taking him out. The Thanatos somehow gets away, but but I've got my number 1 available. I get rooted by the Scylla, but I use my number 3 to basically cleanse myself. The Thanatos is over here. I'm looking to call for help, actually, and attack. I see I'm saying attack right lane. Thanatos, what are you going to do? What you going to do when Geb comes for you? Bad boys, take him out, and I have my weakening curse to slow any pursuers. The Huyi decides not to go after me. The crush, actually the ultimate from Scylla. I'm a monster going out onto the Neath, but I'm able to save her from the brunt of that damage and give her a little buffer so she can backflip to safety without incurring the wrath of any of the enemy opponents there with my shield. You can see how powerful Geb has been in this game, and by Geb I mean myself playing Geb, because I've just kept my mind aware of my teammates. And that's one of the things I will say, guys. One of the things that I think is so valuable about, part of these gameplays is that sometimes I make mistakes, sometimes I do things very well. In this game, I've been doing a very good job of not only being aggressive, causing damage. As you see there, I activate my Frenzy as well as the Loki goes and delivers his ultimate, which I knew was happening, allowing him to finish off the Scylla a lot easier there. I've got my number 2. I use it to go ahead and help finish off the Huyi, and it looks like the Geb is going down as well in no time. It's almost a deicide. The only person left alive is Hercules now trying to defend, but he uses his dash there at an odd place. I try to slow him, and he's rooted within the tornadoes for the Scylla, and he gets taken out by the Neath as well. 100-0 Hercules there. The Hebo is running away, but the Thanatos ultimate is up, and that looks like it could be all she wrote for the Hebo, and it is. Smiley Moon. He's smiling at the moon because he just got that kill there. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but as you see, I narrowly avoid the I'm a monster. But our Kukulkan, not too lucky. Now you see I'm picking up Hide of the Urchin, then I'm picking up Bulwark of Hope, and then I'm also picking up Spirit Robe. Now, these 2 items are great items for characters like Geb, who do a lot of base damage. You don't necessarily need to build damage for them or build too much. You want to build against two types of damage, basically. If you know you have a physical damage dealer that's really causing you stress, then this may not be the perfect build. But this is a great all-around build for a multitude of areas. One, arena, because you're getting several forms of damage quite often. As you see the shield coming up, saving the Neath, even though she activates sprint here. We're actually kind of in a little precarious situation there. I'm trying to basically stop the backline from aggressing, so the Hercules, even though he's pushing, he's not getting any support. That's what makes that push so dangerous. If he's backing you up, and then he has support from his mages in the backline, you see the Scylla's not trying to go away here. I am pursuing the Scylla as well. I've got my number 2. It does not finish her off, but the ultimate from Neath pursuing the Scylla, still not taking her down. Super unfortunate, but the Huyi uses his jump way too early. Now I can aggress him and catch him with my slow. The Sanctuary does come out. I've got my ultimate available. The Loki goes to ult. I decide to use it onto the Thanatos, and it looks like this could be all she wrote for the Thanatos as well. The Hebo goes ahead with a water spout, taking him out. That Hebo doing so much damage. I've got my shield available, and this is just looking good. I've got full stacks of Hide of the Urchin, but back to the build. Because I think this is really like good all-around build, guys. Because one of the times you're going to be facing more magical opponents. Sometimes you're going to be facing more physical opponents. But when you have this kind of in between, Bulwark of Hope, Hide of the Urchin, Spirit Robe, and Mantle of Discord in particular are great items that provide both decent amounts of magical and physical protection while having great passives for Guardians and Warriors that help you survive longer and be more useful to your team. Specifically, the Bulwark of Hope right now, one of my favorite passives in the game as I activate the Frenzy, knowing we are all going for the attack, so 3 or 4 of my teammates, actually almost all of them, are basically dealing with it. I use the shield to help save the Ao Kuang, and it looks like the Huyi is almost going down. I use my number 1. You see the damage there. I do not have my number 2 available, and we're not able to take him out. Smiley Moon actually going ahead and smiling at the moon again. Gosh, that's an interesting name. I wonder what made him choose the name Smiley Moon. Not Smiley Moon. Smiley Moon. It's like, did he get mooned by a constantly smiling man when he was younger? It's like you stare out his window and there's a man turning his face like Quagmire from Family Guy, like constantly mooning him and smiling. And it's like he can't get away, from the haunting images. I don't know, Smiley Moon, but you're trying to attack me. It's not going to work. I put my shield on myself, which you can also do as a Geb, which is really useful for getting out of tight situations. And of course, I'm 4-0-16, and so far, so good. But like I was saying, Spirit Robe, Hide of the Urchin, Mantle of Discord, great items to provide that kind of all-around usefulness. And of course, Bulwark of Hope, a great item for me because when I'm in the thick of things, basically aggressing, as you see, I've got my shield available for the Loki. I use it, and I use my knock-up to stop the pursuit and my ultimate there, but it looks like the Huyi is able to get get enough damage off, but the Kukulkan ultimate has made it so it does not work. The Huyi is trying to get away from me, but it ain't gonna work, baby. Rollout catches up to him, and I take out the Huyi. The Scylla gets taken out as well. All that's left is a Geb. Geb, where you going, baby? I've got my number 1. I use it on him to slow him as well. We are pursuing him with everything we've got. I'm even going into the tower. I want to get a hit on him. It does not work. There's not enough damage. I got to get out of here. I'm feeling a little scared. Use Hebo's extra movement speed on his little water carpet there to get away. And I'm thinking, let's go grab some buffs, guys. I click up on the map at the top right to say, let's grab a couple of buffs here. I decide to go ahead and take this one. I use my number 1 to get some damage on that as well, and another basic attack to try and finish it off. And I do pick up the damage buff, because why not? I'm Geb. I do a ton of damage. The Huyi jumping away, getting out of that route from Neath, and I'm using my rollout here to try and cause a little bit of issues. The Loki goes in because he knows I'm going in. I get the kill onto the Scylla. I activate the Frenzy. It's time to go in. Kukulkan throwing a great tornado there, giving some great spacing, keeping Huyi and Thanatos off to the right side, isolating Geb and Hercules over there. The Scylla Crush damage does come out, but I've got too much physical magical defense for that to bother me at any point. And of course, if I do get in a sticky situation, that Bulwark of Hope passive, giving me that shield, I find is really good in Season 3, guys. What do you think about it? Of course, if you're liking this video, you have any Season 3 comments, please leave a like, share it, let your friends know, and also comment down below. I will answer them. I will talk about this Geb video. This is the only Geb video I have on my channel, so of course this is going to be where we talk about Geb, guys. So enjoy it, ask your questions. I'll try to my best to answer them, but of course people in the Raynstorm community, or in the Raynday community, excuse me, are really, really good at answering questions as well. So look to your fellow community members, people of this great place where we play and watch fun video games, can actually help you as well. Sometimes even more than me. That's right. Sometimes people know more than me. Don't tell anybody, but it's the truth. I used my ultimate to keep Thanatos there. Why did I do that? I wanted to keep him in the tornado to take as much damage, and I used my number 2 to go ahead and finish him off. I am 7-0-18, guys. This is the damage that Geb can do. It is absolutely unreal. Now, the one thing about Geb, which is super interesting, is even though Huyi is striking me, and even though that Thanatos is hitting me, they have crit available. It doesn't matter. Geb has a passive that allows him to take 25% of a crit rather than the full 100%. So crits do not do as much to Geb, and that means he is great in the late game against some hunters that really rely on getting a lot of crit damage off to finish off their targets. And so even in the front line, you're going to be more susceptible than others as the Thanatos throws his rapier. What is that called? Reaper? I don't know. I'm saying like raper right now, and that is not a PG-13 word for the channel, so I'm not very happy about that. The Hercules does pull me back, not with a driving strike, but with his Earthbreaker, and the Scylla looking to go ahead against me, but I don't know if this is really going to work. She activates Alma Monster just to get away because she sees Loki coming out as well. I'm almost activating my Frenzy, which gives us, the entire team, 20% magical or physical damage for 10 seconds, and allows us, when we know we're going to attack there. Oh, as I save the Loki with a great shield, he gets away using his ultimate to actually get away. The Hugi gets away as well, and it looks like I'm out of mana. It looks like I'm out of help from my teammates, and unfortunately it may be that I'm out of luck. Oh, I stay alive somehow. I get out of there, and it looks like there's 9 ticks left. I should be going 7-0 in this game, and this is where I make a decision that I think is up to you guys. I decided to go for Gem of Isolation in this game, which is cool. It gives me the ability to slow on my number 2, which you'll see happens a lot. Geb's number 1 slows when you hit a target, but it also, you see me when I use it enough, I become yellow, and that means I'm CC immune. At this point, I can still be rooted, but once I become yellow, as I narrowly miss killing the Scylla, I am actually CC immune, and no one can stop me at that point. And if I hit you, I knock you very far back. But it looks like Smiley Moon somehow tries to overcome his horrible childhood of getting mooned and smiled at as he stared outside his bedroom window by killing me. He's trying to basically make up for it. I don't know if it did, but he did get the kill on me, and I am 7-1. That is my first death of the game, but we've got only 2 ticks, and as Loki's decoy goes ahead, oh, sorry, my phone for going off, guys, but as Loki's decoy goes ahead and takes the minions out, we win with a 95-0 lead there, 32-18 as well, and a 7-1-18 stat line for Geb, which I am just very, very proud of, guys. I have to say, it is it is a good thing to be bringing some Geb gameplay, but it is also really, really nice to be playing Geb well, not poorly. As you guys can see, this is a great example of how to really keep an eye on your teammates and utilize the amount of burst and quick damage Geb can do to a target if played aggressively, and basically try to kill him. I remember watching Sam the Dude, which he does a lot of jousts, and I watched this Geb gameplay, and he was playing against Hu Yi or somebody, which you would think, Geb versus this person, there's no way. But he gets a purple pot, he goes out, and he basically gets a first blood on this guy with his number 2 and his number 1. I'm like, whoa, Geb does a ton of damage, guys. You have to understand, 370 damage plus 50% for your shockwave of your magical damage as well. You see stone, you see the 35% health from your passive, which can be, not your passive, your ultimate, which can be a lot. If you use it at 100% health, you took off a third of their health with that ability, which for a 3,000 health god, that's 1,000 damage. That's quite a lot of damage. And of course, your rollout does 400 damage plus 50% of your magical power. Not only that, it slows for 2 seconds by 30%. It's pretty outrageous. Geb can basically hit you for probably 1,000 damage right away without expecting it if he hits you with your number 1 and then hits you with his number 2, especially if he's able to combo you with his ultimate first and do something like that. So it's pretty outrageous, and it's pretty great in terms of his ability to save his teammates and protect. You see here the items. I've been going through them, offering pretty much max crowd control reduction with the Mantle of Discord and the Spirit Robe, but as well offering the physical and magical protections so that you can kind of build against anyone who's going to be playing against you, especially in Arena, and sometimes other game modes this may help. One of the things I like to get on Geb that I didn't get in this match is Voidstone, and of course Soul Reaver is a great item because it allows you to get a lot of bang for your buck. You'll see it here, a ton of magical power, but the passive allows you to take 15% of a god's maximum health and additional damage. So imagine you use your ultimate with that active, you're taking off 50% of their health, 50% of their health with one ability. That's pretty amazing if you grab that Soul Reaver. So feel free to fill in all of that stuff towards the end of this build. If you're getting crazy and going 7-1 like me, please feel free to do it. Otherwise, you may want to build a little bit more defensive as well. Voidstone being a great option there if you have a magical target that is kind of hurting you in game. That's going to be it for me, guys. Remember to like, share, and comment on this video down in the comment section below to let me know what you thought. And of course, I'll be back soon for more Smite content, God guides, gameplays, top 5s, and all of that good stuff here at Raynday Gaming. Thanks so much for watching, guys. As always, remember to never give up, never stop gaming, and I'll see you guys next time.